Okay, Bobbie, ready? Fire.
All right,
aim.
let's do it. Okay. Are you worried about that music in the background?
I'll speak up over it. It's
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, there's nothing
Okay.
I could do
All
about
right.
it.
Okay.
Ready? Fire. Aim.
Okay. Helen, welcome to Dallas
Thank you.
and to the AFI Film Festival. You and I talked many times through the years, but never here in Dallas, so it's a special thrill for us to have you here.
Thank you so much.
And especially Then She Found Me, your directorial feature film debut. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was a very big celebratory night. I was not prepared for how much pageantry there was going to be.
I sat there watching the film and knowing that it was your feature film debut, although you have directed, it wasn't your directing debut. And here you are, co-producer, co-screenwriter, director, star, casting director. And I'm thinking, no, Helen, you can't do all that.
You should have said that before. Could have saved me a lot of hard work. Yeah. I don't know. I think the story was very close to my heart, so that probably gave me more fuel than I've ever had before to put on more hats than I've ever worn before.
Why was it so close to your heart?
It didn't start out that way. It's based on a beautiful novel written by Eleanor Lippman called Then She Found Me, about a grown woman whose birth mother finds her, and they forge a very treacherous and then ultimately loving relationship. And that just interested me. It felt new and like I hadn't heard that idea before, and you sort of feel like you've heard every idea. But over the following 10 years, I rewrote it with somebody and then on my own. And by the end of it, you know, the deepest part of how I think and what I feel ended up on the page. So at that point, I knew it was something I wanted to direct as well.
For the screenplay, you really went away from the book quite a little, didn't you?
I did. I mean, there would be nothing without her book, and her book is beautiful and perfect. Once you're trying to bring a book to the screen, you have to be willing to get rid of characters you love and change pieces of story that work beautifully in the novel, and it took me a long time to do that because I liked the book so much. But once I got clear about the movie I wanted to make, I was able to sort of be a little bolder about that.
The Colin Firth character isn't even in the book.
No, neither Matthew's character nor Colin's character are in the book, but that, again, was once I realized that I wanted to make this sort of perverse comedy about some pretty dark things, I was able to get rid of a beautiful character that she had written. The sort of love interest in the novel is a wonderful character and didn't make it into the movie, and create two characters that I thought were beautifully played by those actors.
How is Eleanor Lippman with the changes you made?
Astonishingly, totally supportive. All I get are emails saying, how can I help? What can I do? I'm so proud. She's going to festivals that I'm unable to go to and speaking about the movie, so I really won the lottery with her. She could have easily decided that it was too different and she didn't want to be part of it.
Did you consult with her at all about the changes that you were making?
I have to take a sip of water, sorry.
Okay. I'll give you the question again. Did you consult with the novelist before you made the changes?
Not before, but after. And she read it and just called me with such total support. I think she could feel that the spirit of the story she wanted to tell was in the movie, even though the movie is very different. So I was lucky.
Why did it take 10 years for
I don't
heaven's
know.
sake?
I'm just very slow.
Well, of course, it was attached to Sigourney Weaver's company for a while, wasn't it?
That was a long, long time ago, yeah. And then I tried to get it made in an adaptation very faithful to the novel, and that didn't work. So I took a long time to really understand what was moving me about the story, what movie I wanted to make, and that allowed me to get a little bolder about, you know, making changes and creating, sort of recreating this story on screen.
Fantastic cast. My gosh, a cast to die for.
A cast to die for sure.
Matthew Broderick, Colin Firth, Bette Midler. How did you get all these people?
I asked them, and occasionally I begged them. You know, all you have is what's written. I didn't have money, and I didn't have a fancy long schedule or a big trailer. I had this script, so they must have heard something in the story that meant something to them. I don't think it's because I'm so great. I think they liked it and wanted to be part of it.
You know, I was thinking, just playfully, I was thinking, boy, Helen must have had some big markers to call in.
I did. Every favor is now used up, and if I ever do it again, I'm going to actually have to pay people some money.
You had a 27-day shooting schedule.
Yeah.
Helen,
It's a
you
recipe
are
for disaster. It's all I had. I mean, we had what we had, and we just sort of backed our budget into the amount of money we were given and said we're going to make it. So my proudest moment is that when my first assistant director on the last day of shooting sent me an email and it said 27 days, impossible. And that was actually my proudest moment.
So you
that
came.
someone could see that this was not something anyone should have to do.
You came in on time and on budget.
I did. Because there was no choice. It wasn't like there was a big studio waiting there saying, I hope we don't have to give you more money. There was no more money, so I had to.
As an actress turned director, ahead of time, was there anything that you thought about, like, I am not going to be the kind of director who does A, B, and C?
Yeah, I had worked with many wonderful directors who I tried to borrow from in the way I handled the set and the actors, and a few times I've worked with people who were not generous enough, not smart enough to allow everyone there, the camera operator, the wardrobe assistant, to say, that looks off to me, what do you think? Or I have an idea. You know, it's such a mistake to think that you lose something by making everyone part of the collaborative process. So I think I did that part right. I literally asked every member of the crew to take it personally and to help. I told them, this is a 10-year thing for me. You'll be here for 27 days. I'm asking you to care about it. And they did. It was pretty incredible.
Your father's a director.
Mm-hmm.
Did he help you at all?
He read the script. He gave me a couple of thoughts. And mostly he just loves me. That's the big help, you know. I feel his support every day, all the time.
Did you ever have an incident or a time when you just thought, I don't know how to do this?
A couple of times with some of the bigger emotional scenes, I was off in the corner where usually you're with a director saying, why don't you try this? Going, I'm just here by myself. And I, got nervous that I was not coming up with a subtle or inventive enough way to play those scenes. And I still don't know about a couple of them. If they're, I might 10 years from now say, that's the best work I've ever done, or wow, I almost ruined the movie with that. It'll take a while till I know.
How did you get Salman Rushdie to come in?
I wanted an Indian actor to play that part for lots of reasons. It's a movie about faith and a little bit of movie about God. And there's a scene toward the end of the movie where all these characters pray, and I really wanted to introduce the possibility that everyone was praying to something different. That it was more about faith and praying than about to any particular version of God. And I auditioned actors and didn't find the right person for the part, and then my casting director walked in and said, Salman Rushdie wants to read for you. And I said, would he read? Will he read his book? All right. And he came in and auditioned, and he was the best one. And I said, all right, play the part.
So he came to you. How
He
marvelous.
did. He did.
How
And he's
marvelous.
playing my gynecologist weirdly, so I did feel a little like I was tripping on acid at one point, but it worked out.
Just to briefly, for a moment, go back to As Good as It Gets, your Academy Award-winning performance. I remember when you gave your Academy Award speech, and it just seemed to be, so right and so sincere and everything. But now looking back on it, is there anything that you wish you had said that you didn't think of?
No, I said what I wanted to say. I just wish I hadn't worried about everybody else so much. That's what if I could pass my daughter on anything, I would say don't worry about everybody else.
In what way?
I just wanted to be sure everybody was covered, everybody was thanked, and no one was, I was very self-conscious about having it's such a big moment. And if I had it to do over, I would say what Maureen Stapleton said, which is, I want to thank everyone I've ever met in my entire life. Good night. So if I ever get my chance again, I'm going to say something like that.
Well, I hope you do get your chance, and
Thank
I
you.
would bet money that you do.
Thank you.
Helen, thank you again for coming, and congratulations on your film. I hope it does well.
Thank you.
And again, I stand in awe of what you have done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay.
And two shot all the way, right?
Two shot all the way.
Yeah, two shot all the
Ready,
way.
fire, aim.
Okay. All right.
Now, of course, there's no music playing, so that's going to be a challenge for your editor.
Yeah, yeah,
Should get
yeah.
that
That's.
song on tape or something.
They
That's-
stopped playing towards the end.
Oh, they did.
Oh, did they? Okay. All right. To wear all those hats, Helen, is impossible. Didn't anyone tell you that? Was there ever a time when you were directing that you just thought, "Ah, I don't know how to do this? Oh, you'll have to move your head a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. You have a cast to die for.
I do.
So here you have Colin Firth and Matthew Broderick and Bette Miller. Here you have Matthew Broderick, Colin Firth, Bette Midler. You must have called in all your markers.
I did.
Why did it take 10 years? I have to play this back through my head.
Doing an incredible job. I'm really astounded.
Some of the characters in the movie weren't even in the book. Colin Firth. Was your novelist Eleanor Lippman okay with the changes? Did you talk with Eleanor Lippman, the novelist, before you made all those changes?
Amazing.
How did you get Solomon Rushdie to do this role? Okay.
Yeah, right? It's astounding.
Now you shot this in 27 days.
Did.
Okay. If we can go back to your Academy Award-winning film, As Good as It Gets, Jack Nicholson. You win the Academy Award, you get up there, you gave a magnificent speech. But is there anything that you left out that you wish you had said? Okay, let me look one more time. Going back some years, Sigourney Weaver's company even thought about making this movie, didn't they?
I forgot that till you mentioned it, actually.
Really? Really? Okay. Yeah, Roy, let me just get a couple of laugh reactions and then we'll have it made.
Okay, cuts.
Okay. So, okay. So you're very funny, Helen. Did anyone ever tell you?
Want to tell you a joke or something?
Go ahead.
Two reporters from Texas walk into a bar. Oh, I have.
Okay, that's got it.